Hello people, this is Eric Cobra and this is Let's Play the Talos Principal Blind. After 15 sessions, and I know that because I can count how many levels there are. I can count. Anyway, after that, we have finally opened one of these star doors. I can now finally access one of these and unlock what is to be found within. Whatever it may be. There seems to be grey Tetris blocks. And we mostly have collected Tetris blocks, we're not collected stars, who turned into Tetris blocks when applied to the appropriate lock. But hey, maybe they'll switch it up and it just looks like it's Tetris blocks. Oh, you came back to keep me company. Okay, then humor me a little hypothetical. Imagine that a few hours from now you climb to the top of that tower. There's a flash of light, the magic happens, you'll find yourself in the real world, living wherever you take to be a normal life there. What would you do then? That's a good question, but immediately I just say I'll make the best of it and make sure I'm happy. Yeah, that's a general impression of thinking of you. Good, perhaps you won't have to work so hard this after all. Before I continue though, I want to double check we're on the same wavelength here. Suppose you get out of there with all the human beings. What you're going to do is rinse them for all they got without a care for their soul. Okay. No. I guess I should either qualify for that. I can do that within a moral framework. It's kind of funny for me to say this, because I'm not really into morals. I prefer to stay amoral, because morals is usually... The way I've seen morals used, it's usually, this is right, this is wrong, and people will die on these hills they build for their morals. Whether those morals be philosophical, political, or divinely inspired. I prefer to think of things logically. Like, why shouldn't we kill one another? Well, if we constantly kill one another, that's bad for society as a whole. Valuable individuals are lost, progress stagnates, and we all descend into a murder pit. I'm sure, it doesn't mean I'm completely dead inside. I have feelings. I can sympathize, I can empathize. But I'd also acknowledge that feelings are inherently a bit fuzzy. So I prefer, if I had to make a system, I prefer it to be one that's logical. But I suppose even some would argue that a system where I say logic is best, I already set up a moral framework, because I already defined what is good, logic. And while I would not agree, I would say that they at least got an argument there. I guess that's a bit of a tangent, but sure, let's go with a moral framework. Ah, so you do have some scrubbles after all. So tell me, this obligation you feel, is it only applicable to the real world, or does it apply here as well? Well, again, if we go with it, I go with that logic is universal. If we say that my dedication to a logical system is moral, then yes, it is universal. What a magnanimous dictator you would make. Of course, I'm sure it would take a dictator to enforce a single moral code on the entire universe. So come on then, what's your magic formula of choice? Let me warn you that this time you're going to have to choose just one. This is interesting. The more equals everyone share, the better. But here's the thing. Like, this is a beautiful sentiment in theory, but some people just plain need more. And some people don't need as much. For example, a guy who has broken legs will probably need a wheelchair. But if you give me a wheelchair, just assume you're making fun of me. Everyone's share cannot be equal. And everyone cannot lift the same burdens, and everyone cannot accomplish the same things, because at the end of the day, we're not the same. We're not the same people, we have different competences, we have different demands, we have different qualifiers, and as a result, because no one is the same, we can, by definition, not be equal in that sense. Individual care must be taken. Some people have difficulties and must be given more help. Other people have an easy time and doesn't need as much help. And of course, not everybody needs the same. And that's just where we go with what do we need minimum to survive. Then we go into luxuries, where even I will admit I don't need luxuries. I want them, but I don't need them. So I wouldn't care that. Consequences don't matter, all reasons do. That's an interesting thing. Because, well, a reason and the consequences thereof, well, I'd say you have to take both into account. Sometimes the consequences are so far beyond what you imagine that you really have no way to see it coming. Other times, even if you have the best reason in the world, you do something completely fucking stupid and deserve to be smacked around for it. So I say it's too fluid and too individual. The world is too complicated to put it down so simply. To know way to explain what I believe, which is just dickish, the more goodness in the world, the better. And I suppose I can get in for that. Of course, when we get into the fact that goodness is a vague label, but the more good things there are in the world, the better. It would be better if there was less hunger in the world. If everyone was had access to more food, that would be good. It would be better if there was more education. Better if there were more resources. Better if there was more peace. So, depending on how we define goodness, I'd say that's probably the one that fits me the most. I want to create an abundance of the good things in life and minimize, if not eradicate, the bad things in life. That's probably close to what I can do. Ah, the old chestnut. So just what in this goodness would you seeking to maximize? That's interesting. I wouldn't say all of the above because, well, there are times where we'd have to prioritize. But let's start basic, really. Let's keep it basic. Let's make sure everyone has access to the most basic of needs. Everyone's healthy, everyone has food. Because equality, I already said why that's hard to really make done. We're not all the same. Liberty, sometimes you really need to be told no. Happiness? Oh, that one would be good. And wealth? Well, that would also be nice. But I do believe that both of those can come from this. After all, if you have taken care of basic needs, if you know you're gonna be healthy, I mean, we have cases in the world today where people will literally walk around until they're on death's door because they are afraid of the bill they'll be given if they go to the hospital. We have people starving in the world right now because they don't have enough food. Yeah, that's a problem, really. And if we want these people to rise up and come to a better position in life, if we want everyone to have the opportunity to advance up the ladder and earn luxuries and such, well, it means to make sure they have some place to start. And that means making sure everybody has food and everybody's healthy. Eradicating sicknesses, eradicating hunger, and such. We start at the bottom and make a solid fundament. You cannot build a castle upon sand. Well, I suppose you could, but you'd have a problem. Reminds me of the Library of Alexandria. It's fucking sinking. So let's start there. And not pairing ideas, but we'll ring them out and see what's what. So the world's better only with a total amount of resources they desire. It doesn't matter who has them and what they're used for. Again, that'll be wrong, because if one guy has all the food, then we're back to school. Then it doesn't matter there's more. It's still not available to everyone. It doesn't matter that one dude in the world has all the healthcare. No, then he's still sitting on all. And then we still have the problem. It needs to be shared out so everyone can have access to it. I see. Suppose when you're sent to that magical town wind up in this ideal world. The people there celebrate your arrival and offer you your equal share of the cash as his own right. Mostly you're thrown out of a local shop because newcomers aren't welcome. You're denied accommodation because your money is tainted. But don't worry, you'll have just as much money as everyone else. This is what we're dreaming of. Well, that's of course a problem when there's just one thing. But you're giving me one thing, and I don't think there is one magic word. But you can find this no matter what it is. If it's liberty, then you can probably get society so liberous that some dude can go up and stab you in the face. If it's happiness, then it doesn't matter if you're strapped in a chair somewhere just being given a dose of happy pills. No matter what, it can be tainted. But I'm not going to reconsider. I said about what I said. The truth isn't always palatable. Even when you aren't twisting my words. Am I really? I think you may have twisted the value of money. You know, there's a shed loads of broken theories less ridiculous than the one you're chewing through. I want to give you a bit of space to consider them. Terminating support session error. Resume library session? Sure. Oh, and if the real world does not be everything you imagine, do me a favor and leave me here. But yes, he did twist things around. Because, well, the world's complicated. And when you ask me to define one thing that can magically fix everything, you already kind of misunderstood the world. There is no magic word, there is no guaranteed success, there is no one thing you can just throw your money and resources at and then magic happens. The world's complex, and big, and dumb. Trying to find a magic solution will make everything better. That's not gonna go good. But there are things that can improve things. Anyway, let's focus on reading this. Let's see. Have you heard of the Talos principle? It's this old philosophical concept about the impossibility of avoiding reality. No matter what you believe, if you lose your blood, you will die. I think that applies to a situation more than we'd like to admit. We can close our eyes and pretend that everything's going to be alright. But it won't change the physical reality of what's going to happen to our blah 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 blah. I think that as scientists, it is our duty to face the truth and try to ask ourselves the most important question. How can we help? I think I have an idea. Human blood. It is said by some that our blood is composed of infinite living agents which go up and down the highways and byways of our bodies as people in the streets of the city. One generation passes away and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever function. And the sleep of the town how lifelike, with it changed in the circulation. Butler Samuel. We are misled by considering any complicated machine as a single thing. In truth, it is a city or society, each member which was spread truly after its kind. Interesting. Archive importance. I'll keep this short. You all know me, so you know that I know what I'm talking about. I realize that you're all working on projects meant to somehow avert the catastrophe we are facing, but you must all concede that there is a very real possibility that you will not have enough time to find a solution. I believe that we cannot afford to ignore an extinction or near extinction scenario. We must prepare for the worst. That is to say, we must seek to preserve the non-biological components of what constitutes the human species, and we hope that they be recovered in the future by other local or non-local sentients. And although we're not used to thinking on that scale, not in terms of praxis, but if we truly value humanity, then we must act immediately. You'll find the details of my proposal in the attachment, but the short version is this: the creation of multiple archives for redundancy in safe locations that will contain in digital form as much information about a species, including all cultural works, scientific insight, history, DNA, as can be gathered in the given time frame. This will be a massive global undertaking, with EL naturally being one of the... cannot find attachment. 6N. The tower. Now that's interesting. Nine scribble. What does it mean? Few come this far, but I believe we must seek out the secrets of this world if we want to truly serve the generation to come. Selathiel. Lead Angel! Oh. Well, had I known that, that would probably make things a little bit easier. Wouldn't have to bring an axe all the way. Dumb mind. What have I just done? Launch myself into a puzzle. Well, that might be important. Dumb mind, eh? Why could I launch myself into that like that? Are these puzzles mayhaps connected? And why does it say 9 star star?